Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Music Mondays podcast. I'm your host, Zom Slays. Welcome on in, my friends. Happy motherfucking Monday. Today is March 4th, 2023. How we doing, man? Hope you're all well. Hope you're chilling. What's going down? What is going down? So, um, like I said, this is episode 163. Um, how's everybody's week, man? How we doing? How's things? How's life? What's going down? Hope everybody's well. So, relatively stacked show for you guys tonight. Lots of submissions, a couple of things to go over, couple of community topics to discuss. We're gonna go over a lot. So, let's get into it. And like I said, I'm your host, Zom Slays, and this is episode 163. So, let's talk, my friends. Let's talk. So, let's go over some weekly recap stuff first, and then let's continue on. Cause I have a decent topic of discussion tonight for us that we're gonna go over, and we'll go into reactions right after that. So, weekly recap stuff. So, like I said, today is Monday. So, starting last week, let's talk. So last Monday, obviously we kicked off with the Music Mondays basic logo t-shirts. Those are available right now. Our current inventory is as follows. We have smalls left, we have mediums left, we have larges left, and we are sold out of extra larges and double extra larges. So if you want to purchase a shirt, definitely contact us. Let us know. Hit us up, man, because we'll be happy to get that organized for you. You'll see some promo go up this week as well for that, so that'll be relatively important as well. So that was on Monday, and then following Monday as well, a brand new exclusive dropped on our SoundCloud with the homie Blank Thought, Music Monday staff writer and producer Blank Thought. They let us host one of their recent tracks that got cut from one of their recent projects. So again, huge shout out to Blank Thought, and definitely go check that out on SoundCloud if you have not seen that already. And go show Blank Thought some love, man, because that's available right now. Let's see here. So that was Monday. So Tuesday, submissions open for this week's show. Then we rolled into Wednesday with SoundCloud Sunday submissions, and then we rolled into Thursday with a brand new YouTube upload. So Thursday of last week, we dropped community feedback number 9. I believe that was filmed during episode 161 or 160 of the Music Mondays podcast. So if you missed that segment, definitely go check that out. Show that some love. Now, when it comes down to community feedback, that is our monthly segment where we essentially get feedback from the community. We want to hear from you guys. We want to know what you want to see on the show, guests you want to see on the show, things like that. So community feedback number 9 is available right now, and you can expect those each and every single month on our YouTube channel. And definitely go sub to the channel if you haven't already. We are 4 subs away from 260, man. We're trying to make that push to 260. So if you haven't subbed, definitely please go do so, and huge shout out to everybody that already has. We upload 2 times a week, every Thursday and Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, whole lot of good stuff available over there. So go check out the channel and go show that some love. So that was Thursday. We continued on Thursday with the Music Mondays Radar Check. Music Mondays Radar Check number 6 is available on all socials. That's essentially, again, our monthly segment where our community has a chance to tag an artist that they think should be on Music Mondays, whether it be in articles, on the show, reviews, things like that. So if you have an artist that you'd like to see on Music Mondays, definitely go check out Radar Check number 6 and check those out every single month, because again, that's another monthly segment that we are always doing. So hopping into Friday, a brand new article went live on allmusicmondays.com by your boy, me. I think that's article like 102 or 3 or something like that for me. But a couple of weeks back, we had a submission from an artist by the name of Wilmo. And Wilmo went absolutely fucking crazy. And they had reached out to me, showed me some love, and we got to chopping it up a bit. So I ended up doing an interview with them, and that is available right now on allmusicmondays.com. So definitely go check that out and go show Wilmo some love. I always like doing interviews, man. That's definitely my bread and butter. It always has been. Like even before I got into media and managing and social media and things like that. Interviews and music production was like how I started, right? Like those are my two kind of pillars, if you will, my go-tos. And I always have a good time doing interviews. So again, definitely go check that out and go show Wilmo some love. Okay, so that leads us into Saturday. Episode 162 of the Music Mondays podcast is available on all platforms. It is available on YouTube. It is available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music. Wherever you listen to podcasts, the Music Mondays podcast is available over there as well. So again, huge shout out to everybody that takes us on the go, wherever you listen. And huge shout out to everybody that runs up the YouTube uploads as well, man. You guys are amazing. Thank you for showing love to the Music Mondays YouTube channel and the Music Mondays podcast in general, man. And huge shout out to everybody that submitted, tuned in, and showed love. Episode 162 is available everywhere. So go show that some love if you missed last week's episode. So that was Saturday. Heading into Sunday. SoundCloud Sunday volume 124 is available on our SoundCloud right now. That was curated by me and art by 63 of the Music Mondays design team. So huge shout out to 60 for helping me out with that. Huge shout out to everybody that submitted to SoundCloud Sunday, man. SoundCloud Sunday is continuing to be one of the greatest SoundCloud playlists in 2024, without a doubt. So again, if you're interested in getting involved in SoundCloud Sunday, you want to submit. Submissions open every single Wednesday for SoundCloud Sunday, so keep your eyes peeled. Those will be open within 48 hours. So again, get your tracks ready. And again, huge shout out to everybody that showed love to volume 124 of SoundCloud Sunday. You guys are amazing. So thank you. So it's a new month, man. That was your weekly recap, and we're here. This is episode 163, like I said, and we're in March. This is our first show of March. This is our first kind of discussion of March. This is the end of quarter one. We have a couple things to talk about here as far as what's coming on Music Mondays and things like that. So let's talk. So before we get into a discussion segment, let's talk about recruiting. Let's talk about SoundCloud exclusives. Then we'll talk about how we're gonna cap off March for quarter one and things like that. And then we'll head into some reactions and reviews as well. Let's talk, man. So, Music Mondays will be putting out a brand new recruiting flyer this week. We are looking for all of our roles. We are interested in adding a few more staff members. So again, if you're interested and that's something you want to kind of dive into, definitely let us know. Send us a message, send us an email, send us a DM, anywhere. We'll be happy to have that conversation with you. So again, we are looking for every single one of our roles. We are looking for writers, journalists, designers, curators, media personalities, anybody that wants to do short form and long form content on our YouTube, and things like that. So if you're interested in any of those roles, we do have a detailed guide on our YouTube channel on realistically what all those roles entail, how you can kind of break into Music Mondays, and how all those things kind of get broken down. So you should see a new 2024 guide for all the Music Mondays roles here on the YouTube channel as well, relatively soon. So keep your eyes peeled for that. But we do have a current role guide that is from last year, so definitely check that out if you're interested in any more details as far as roles go and things like that. But again, we'll have a brand new recruiting flyer coming out relatively soon. Tarek, what's good? I hope you're well. My bad, homie. Monday already, absolutely. And yes. You'll see definitely a couple of new guides go up on the channel, so lots of new stuff coming for sure. So again, just to cap that off, Music Mondays is recruiting. We are looking for every single one of our roles. So if that's you and you want to get involved in Music Mondays, definitely let us know and definitely shoot us a message. So, that's recruiting. Other than that, we are looking for SoundCloud exclusives. If you have an unreleased track that you'd like to get hosted on the Music Monday SoundCloud, of course, we are looking for unreleased tracks, of course. So if you are looking to get that hosted on our SoundCloud and promoted for free across all of our social medias, definitely let us know and definitely send us a message or email because we'll be happy to do that for you. Because of course, we're always on the hunt for SoundCloud exclusives, right? Same thing with YouTube, but we'll talk about that in a second. But when it comes to SoundCloud exclusives, we not only really want to show our supporters over there on SoundCloud some love, right? But we also really want to just kind of use our SoundCloud as a promotion tool, right? And show some of these artists some love as well. So again, if you have an unreleased track that you'd like to get hosted on our SoundCloud, definitely get in contact with us because we'll be happy to do that for you. Absolutely. And again, we're only interested in the SoundCloud version. So if you have an idea for the track to go on all platforms or things like that, that's cool too. We're always down for that as well. So again, just send us a message if that's something that you're interested in. Okay. So outside of SoundCloud, we are on the hunt for YouTube exclusives as well. So if you're interested in getting a YouTube exclusive visual, music video, lyric video, or even just audio hosted on our channel of over 250 subscribers, definitely let us know as well, because that's something we've done in the past and that we're trying to really push for as well. So again, obviously we're only interested in unreleased content, but if you have a music video, a visual, or a lyric video that you'd like to get hosted on the Music Mondays YouTube channel, definitely let us know, because we'd be absolutely happy to do that. Again, you'll see flyers go out for both of those over the course of the next couple weeks, just because we're trying to spread more awareness. But when it comes down to like actually getting people to understand what a SoundCloud exclusive and what a YouTube exclusive is, those just help out in that avenue as well. So expect to see those on our socials relatively soon, for sure. So that's YouTube, that's SoundCloud, that's recruiting, that's all that stuff. Let's talk about what's coming on Music Mondays over the course of the next month or so, because today is literally March 4th. We are in a brand new month. February fucking absolutely flew by. January was a bit longer, I'd say, but February was definitely like you fucking blinked and it was gone for sure. So that's what's pretty crazy about that. But again, I'm excited for March. Lots of good stuff coming. Lots of good stuff on the table. But I think the couple of big things that we're working on here are three major things. The big one is Music Mondays merch. We're trying to get the rest of this out to people, and we only have a few pieces left. So again, if you're going to be one of those people that wants a piece, definitely let us know. Because once they're gone, they're going to be gone for the foreseeable future, up until maybe later in the year. But again, we're definitely trying to get the rest of those off. So you'll see more promo go out for everything that we have left as far as current merch goes. And then we'll be kind of like hyper focusing on that and really getting at least like one more piece of promo out for the basic Music Mondays logo tee. And then the next big thing that we're really kind of working on in the background, like I said, Cyberfest is going to be a very Q2 kind of event. I'd say like late spring, like early summer. I think that's going to be something that we really like super focus on. But outside of Cyberfest, I think we're capping off this last quarter in March with Curing Cases of the Mondays, our second edition. So Curing Cases of the Mondays was our Music Mondays album. That was where we collected community unreleased tracks, community exclusives, tracks that the community really wanted to have on our project. I think it was ended up being like 8 or 9, maybe 10 tracks. we released in 2022. It was a good group of artists, but we've pretty much doubled our support base since then. So I think it's time we do another album. So once we get cover finalized and things like that, we'll be curating for the second Music Mondays album, and of course it'll be SoundCloud exclusive, so you can kind of do whatever you want with the track afterwards as well. Um, but again, curing cases of the Mondays is going to be something that myself and the staff kind of hyper focus on. We're going to have all the designers kind of collaborate on one cover. So we're really trying to have all hands on deck here for this. Of course, a mix between genres, a mix between instrumentals and all sorts of stuff is going to be available on Curing Cases of the Mondays. So that'll be something that's very important. So once we kind of finalize cover stuff, then the curation process will begin, and we'll be able to really start collecting tracks and having people get involved for sure. So those two things: Music Mondays merch, Curing Cases of the Mondays, Volume 2, and then of course Cyberfest 2. But that won't be coming until the next quarter. And then the last thing that we're really kind of hyper focusing on the back end is more YouTube content. We're really trying to kickstart our series back up when it comes down to Workshop Wednesday. I've already got a couple potentials when it comes to those. I just really have to schedule them and really get them filmed and edited. And then of course Feature Friday, Behind the Merch is another one, and the breakdown. All of those segments are available on our YouTube right now. It's not even like we stopped doing them, we just haven't done them yet in 2024. So we're trying to bring them back in kind of like a good way for the new year. But we did plenty of them in 2023. So if you're interested in any of those segments, definitely go check those out. Feature Friday is really like one of our one-on-one interview segments. Workshop Wednesday is really how producers and engineers and artists kind of break down how they record, and maybe how they produce, how they mix, how they design, things like that. And of course, Behind the Merch is essentially that we kind of it's sort of an interview, but it's more of an interview centered around merch, and artist merch and things like that. And then of course we have the breakdown, where we break down artists' individual projects, whether it be albums, singles, and things like that. So again, we're trying to bring back all those segments for 2024 in a big way. So keep your eyes peeled for a lot of those, and you should see some of those coming heavily in quarter 2 for sure. But I think the end of quarter 3 is going to be kind of finalizing those big 3. So Cured Cases of the Mondays, Cyberfest 2, and Music Mondays merch. Those 3 things will kind of cap off March. And heading into quarter 2, those other things that I mentioned will be kind of the primary focus for sure. So that's like the big scope of things when it comes down to the plan for Music Mondays. And then your usual weekly content will stay the same, right? All of our playlists. You'll see some new stuff kind of drop here and there. Our weekly written pieces, our YouTube videos, our submissions, you know, and all that stuff is staying the same, of course. So again, point is, make sure you follow us on your preferred social. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Facebook, Blue Sky, wherever you're at, man. Go drop us a follow. Go show us some love over there. And lots of stuff to kind of cap off quarter 1. And heading into spring, there's going to be a lot on our plate. But I'm excited. You know what I mean? So that's that. So before we get into some reactions and reviews, we just got over the weekly recap, kind of what's coming on Music Mondays over the course of the next week or so. One thing that I kind of wanted to break down that we had not broken down yet here on the show is distribution. What do I mean by distribution? Well, that'll be something that we kind of dive into here as we speak. So, just had to pull something up. All right, let's talk. So, I see this question kind of floating around a lot, and this is something I wanted to get on the channel, something I kind of wanted to discuss on stream as well. So, again, a lot of people kind of always have the question of uh, which distribution service is best, right, to get your songs on all platforms. And you'll see a lot of recommendations. You'll see a real lot. Um, and we're going to talk about some of the bigger ones. We're going to talk about some pros and cons. We're going to talk about which fit is good for certain people, right? Because I think distribution services are going to be different for everybody. I don't think it's kind of like a one size fits all shoe. Many kind of established and veteran artists already know that, but for some of the new guys out there, I definitely think this will be something to talk about here. So, do it. Um, when it comes to distribution, right? I think the number one question you got to ask yourself is, what am I doing with music? Right? Because there's a lot of people that kind of just have music as a hobby. There's a lot of people that kind of take it seriously, but like don't really care about all stores or don't really care about promotion or things like that. Um, but let's just say, for the conversation's sake, that you're an artist that wants to get your music on all platforms. Um, where do you start? What's the best kind of distributor? What do I kind of want from this? So I think the big thing to kind of get out of the way here is they're all going to do the same thing, right? No matter where you go, whether it be DistroKid, SoundCloud, Amuse, United Masters, CD Baby. There's so many platforms that you could really go to, but what you're gonna find out is they're all gonna do the same thing. I just think it's kind of good to narrow down what you want out of a distribution service, right? Do you like only care about getting your music on all plats and just getting paid? Do you kind of really want more out of your journey on all stores, right? Some people care more about playlisting, some people care more about smaller features, some people care more about accessibility, some people care about customer support. So with all that said, you'll find that most people kind of gravitate towards DistroKid, right? Because DistroKid was on top for quite some time, especially in like 2017, 2018, like a lot of those early years, at least for me, early on in my career, um, DistroKid was like the number one. You know what I mean? And as they grew, and there became more and more of a demand for artists to kind of get their music everywhere, DistroKid kind of, what seemed on the outside looking in to be, getting overwhelmed. It almost seemed like a lot of their simple features were kind of lagging, and customer support wasn't all that great. Um, at the time of this recording in 2024, it's been good, but there's definitely been some like ups and downs when it comes to a lot of the bigger companies, right? Because I feel like they did get overwhelmed with like the surge of new artists that kind of pop up every single day, right? I think people even like look up their first song and immediately make a fucking DistroKid account, which I don't think is a bad thing, right? I just think that a lot of those stores, um they were kind of handling like a pretty large influx of users, if you will. So again, you'll see a lot of these kind of like weird negative perceptions about certain stores, but they all have their pros and they all have their cons, right? I think certain stores do certain things better. I think if you're a beginner, DistroKid is probably still like the easiest one to go through and understand, especially if like you're learning all this on your own and you don't have somebody to like teach you like right then and there. Because like it's one thing to get like a recommendation from like an internet friend, but it's gonna be perceived differently for everybody. Like some people just learn differently, especially when it comes down to shit like this. So if you're a person that's learning on your own, DistroKid might be like a really good, easy play for you, just because it's very simple and easy to understand. Um, SoundCloud for artists is kind of the more um a bang for your buck, as far as unlimited uploads and certain smaller features that I think more established artists might want. But in exchange, I think one common trait of all these stores is the lack of customer service, right? I think customer support and customer service is such like a rarity for like a lot of these stores that I think man, like if you have a good setup and you have a like a really trusted store, I think that's going to be something that you really want to stay with. You know what I mean? So if you have a good thing right now and you've been thinking about like switching stores, and it's for like a small reason, I definitely wouldn't. You know what I mean? Like if you don't have to, don't switch. But if you have to, then it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like some people just kind of move on from certain things. Like I have artists that kind of went from DistroKid to SoundCloud for Artists, and now they're gonna jump ship again. So it really depends on where you're at in your career and where you're at in music, right? And really like what you want out of a certain service. So I think um the ultimate thing here is to kind of really do your own research and look at Reddit, look at tweets, look at forums, look at comments, look at reviews, talk to your friends, and kind of make your own judgment based on that. Don't just listen to one person's like, oh, DistroKid fucked me over, blah blah blah, da da da. Because for every like 5 people that had a bad experience with DistroKid, there's going to be another 50 that had a really good experience and that have been using DistroKid since day one. That's just going to happen. So it's kind of the same for all of them. Like as many good comments as you can find just as many bad comments. And I don't think that should like be the deciding factor of like um a store is going to be good or not, right? So, you know, starting out, I would just kind of see what the process is like for one of your homies. You know what I mean? Like I tried to think like just now like what would I do if I was starting out, and I'd probably just have one of my homies walk me through the process of whatever they do. And then I just start there. And then you really learn how to like ultimately like start fully like distributing your music, and then you can kind of start understanding the smaller parts of the whole process and take each of those lessons and things you learned into new distributors and go to different areas and things like that. So that's the real big thing there is you kind of gotta like see it firsthand and kind of like make your own judgment. Like I wouldn't worry too much about like what Joe Schmo, has going on, because we don't really know their situation, right? Like you'll see people talking about, oh, my song got taken down and da 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 da, but then come to find out they use samples and this and that, and you know, um, there's going to be stores that are more useful in certain ways, and there's going to be stores that are like more, um, like harder to work with in certain ways, right? So, I think to cap up that whole idea of like which store is best or like what store should I choose if I'm a starting artist, I would do your research, right? And then talk to your friends. And if you don't have any friends, do your research even more, right? So again, browse Reddit, browse YouTube. Because like I said, there's going to be people that, hate on certain stores, and then there's going to be people that really, really had a good journey with certain stores. So I wouldn't say that's it's a one size fits all kind of conversation. So yeah, that's like the number one thing there is kind of doing your own research, and it's important. Like don't just take your first opinion and just kind of be like, oh, okay, like no problem. Like I just won't use DistroKid or I just won't use this or that because Johnny had a fucking bad experience with it. Fuck that. Try it out for yourself first, or even just watch somebody do it, or if you have a friend that can kind of like walk you through the process, I think that's just as good too. You know what I mean? So either way, however you shape it, I think it's worth it to do your due diligence and kind of settle at a place where you can at least spend a year at and get like a good amount of music out at and figure out if it's a good fit for you. You know what I mean? So um that's that, my friends. And of course, if you have any questions about that, or you'd like me to kind of discuss distribution services further, definitely leave a comment, send us a tweet, all that good stuff. Let us know what kind of stores you guys like, what kind of distributors you guys use, and things like that. Because I'm sure there's plenty of tips out there that could help anybody with certain questions. But again, we'll be happy to talk about that stuff here on the show. Many times more for sure. So again, if you're not subbed, make sure you sub to the channel, drop a like on the video, and all that good jazz. Let's get it. All right. It is time. It is time, my friends. Let's go. So, that was a really good conversation. I like that one a lot. That's gonna be good for the channel. For sure, that's gonna be good for the channel. Loudest, what's good, homie? Hope you're well. Let's fucking get it, baby. But yeah, that was definitely something that I really wanted to kind of dissect with everybody and really kind of start talking about. So that was a good one. That was definitely a good one. So all right. We got this here. You guys know what time it is. Let's get into it. Let's talk. Let's dive into some reactions, reviews, all that good stuff, man. Let's go. So, I actually don't think we have any Patrons tonight. Which is pretty crazy. So I think we'll just go all the way down the list and we'll be solid, man. So, before we get into it, for those of you that don't know, submission tweets are always in the same format, and they always read. Artists and creative submissions are open for live reviews on Music Mondays, live on March 4th, 2024 at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, twitch.tv/ZomPlays, which is here and now. If you'd like to submit your music, artwork, fashion, or digital creations, drop your links and portfolios below. All art forms are welcome. Many of you guys know, but if you don't and you're new here, Music Mondays reacts to and goes over every type of submission. Again, contrary to our name, Music Mondays, we've reacted to pretty much everything. Everything from artwork to photography to video edits to instrumentals, vocals, mixes, show footage, freestyles, you name it, we've reacted to it. So feel free to drop any type of content and any type of links, and we'll be happy to react to you here on the show. And of course, many of you know that a lot of creatives are multi-talented. A lot of people are, really just masters of many crafts, right? A lot of designers are also producers. A lot of artists are also designers, and vice versa, right? I really think there's a wide range there. So, Music Mondays wants to make sure that we cover all bases, 100%. And of course, for our show limits, that was implemented, I think the start of 2023 or something like that. But of course, that's just to make the show a little bit more palatable. And again, we are one of the only weekly live shows here on Twitch. So again, just to make the show a little bit easier to watch back and a little bit less pressure on the staff, we did put on a 4-hour show limit cap, just to make sure the show's a little bit more tolerable. And of course, gives people a chance a little bit to watch it back, right? Because I think even like a 4-hour show is a little bit much to watch back, but not too bad compared to like a 6-7 hour show. Can definitely get dicey though. Can definitely get dicey, but yeah, 4-hour show limit, and of course, submissions are free. They always have been free. They always will be free. The only thing that we ask is that you're following Music Mondays on Twitter to be eligible. And of course, that's not only to help grow our community and to help spread our message, but that just pays respect to everybody else that does wait for their submissions to be reacted to each and every single week here on Music Mondays. And of course, Patreon subscribers' submissions are played first each week, so if you're currently subscribed at any tier to the Music Mondays Patreon, you have the ability to gain access to the Music Mondays Fast Pass, which again gives you the ability to have your tracks played first each week on the show, the duration that you're pledged to the Music Mondays Patreon. So again, subscribe at any tier, and you can gain access to that and a whole lot of other good features over on the Patreon. So again, huge shout out to all of our Music Mondays Patrons. And definitely go check out our Patreon, man, because we got a lot of good stuff over there. Not just the Music Mondays Fast Pass and things like that, but Lots of good stuff over there. So expect a nice little update for our patrons as well, man. So fucking get it. But I think outside of that, the only other thing that we're gonna talk about is submissions close about a couple hours before the show starts. So again, if you see the show live, submissions are definitely closed, and you have about 6.5 days or so to really get your submissions in and really finalize your tracks or whatever you kind of have going on. About 6.5 days, because submissions open on Tuesdays. So once Monday rolls around, you have about, again, like 6.5 or so. So just keep that in mind. And again, whenever you see the show live, submissions are closed. And again, we are a live show, so that just helps keep the show free flow. So nobody kind of messes up the order or anything like that. So outside of that, I think that's it, my friends. Those are all the major details for the Music Mondays podcast. And of course, if you have any other questions, we have a brand new guide on the Music Mondays YouTube channel right now, kind of breaking down all the rules for the Music Mondays podcast, how to submit and things like that, and why we do things the way that we do. So if you're interested and you have any questions, definitely go check that out. Of course, you can always leave a comment or anything like that, and we'll be happy to talk with you. So, I think it's time, my friends. I think it's time. Let me just take a double check here to make sure we don't have any current Patreons. And we do not have any current Patreon. So we're starting from the top. We're starting from the motherfucking top. Let's get into it, man. All right. Our first submission of the night is the homie Ozzy Bug, On Time. Now, I think it's been a couple weeks since we heard from Ozzy Bug. Something like that. Definitely been a little bit, for sure. I do think we've reacted to them in 2024, though. But again, a super talented alternative vocalist submitted On Time. So let's pop this open and see what we got. I am down. Pop it over, new tab. Hit it with a little pause. Let's check description and all that good stuff. Prod by Homecoming Queen. Lyrics by Ozzy Bug. Engineering and mastering by Ozzy Bug. Cover art shot and styled by... Okay. We got some lyrics too. Alright. Let's get into it. Ozzy Bug. On Time. Go. Okay. So this is very interesting because I feel like every time we hear from Ozzy Bug, they're like making like significant improvements to like all areas of their music, right? Whether it be performance, right, writing, a whole lot of stuff. Like there's just improvements from all angles here. So I think there's a lot to talk about. Let's break this down. We are going to talk about um three things. We're gonna talk about the instrumental, we're gonna talk about vocals, and we're gonna talk about the overall theme of the track. So um let's talk instrumental. So Proud Homecoming Queen, not really a shocker that this is like such a well-fitting instrumental. I just think it goes so well with this like kind of glitchy like electronic style. Like I really think it's really like such like a good mashup. It really is. Um hmm. Let's talk mix. Mix is great, especially when we're just talking about strictly the instrumental. I think the mix is fantastic. Nothing clashing, too overbearing. Vocals sit nice. Drums cut through nicely for sure. Drums definitely cut through nicely, actually. Um, yeah, definitely no gripes. No gripes at all, if I'm being honest. Um, and we've reacted to a lot of Homecoming Queen instrumentals, so it's not a shocker that this one's like right up to par. But yeah, definitely right where it needs to be. Nice and level, super even. Nothing that really like jumped out at me. Um, so instrumental mix solid, instrumental shining star. Probably the drums, to be honest with you. The drums are very, very like front and center, very memorable. Enough mud, very gritty, but also kind of have that like balancing element when it comes to the melody as well, right? Because the melody is like super soft and kind of laid back, and the drums kind of give it that like real pressure that it needed a little, just to kind of give it a little push. But I do feel like the drums were right up there for sure. Um, hmm. So instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals. Um, Vocal mix. So this one's a little bit more processed, a little bit more electronic based, which I like this style for Ozzy for sure. They've done a couple different vocal styles, but this is one where I feel like it's really fitting for them and really kind of pushes their boundaries and like sometimes I feel um you know really like trying other styles like pushes your main style even more, because like when you go back to your main style you're almost like more sharp, because you went and tried something new, because you got out of like your element a little bit, like you return to like your old shit and you're like, wow, this is fucking, like I can do this way better, you know what I mean? So that's what I'm feeling here for sure. So I like this kind of push into like a more electronic like alt pop kind of style 100%. um but the vocals themselves are great. Nothing clashing, too overbearing. Nothing that like struck me off. Um, Everything cuts through nicely. Um, Vocals sit nice. Like everything's super balanced, So definitely no gripes. Um, so vocal mix very solid. Vocal shining star. I like the writing on here. Um, but I feel like flow and cadence and delivery was fantastic, especially for this like high octane, high energy kind of instrumental, right? This thing really fucking bangs. So you needed that like high energy vocal like kind of vibe on this as well. And I think that's exactly what we got here for sure. So definitely flow and cadence and delivery for me, but I think writing is a big close second. Is definitely a big close second. Um. Okay, so instrumental solid, definitely the drums. Vocal solid, definitely the writing. Let's talk theme. Aesthetics, actually fantastic. You know, you guys know how I really like those like IRL covers. If like you don't really want to go the artsy kind of direction, right? Sometimes songs don't really need it. Sometimes you're not really feeling it. Sometimes you just want to go like IRL, very like just like personal, and this totally hits the mark, especially with like the small edit in the bottom left. Like as long as you're kind of like making sure that it looks high quality, then I think you can almost get away with anything. This is one of those examples where I feel like this is solid, you know what I mean? Like this is perfect. So for me, aesthetics definitely on point. overall theme. So, you know, this kind of reminds me of Lil Wet Wet feeling when it comes down to like mixing nostalgia with like current resin energies. Um, because Patterns has always had that feeling for me as a listener that it was in like the shoes and POV of somebody who's in present day looking back on the past. And we're getting a little bit of that here with this track as well from Ozzy. So this definitely was a very like intimate track in that aspect. Like I felt like it was definitely like a look back on the past while being in the present. You know what I mean? So one of those like one of those that really just is a good reflection on a current artist's state. You know, like where are you at right now on March 4th, 2024? You know what I mean? Like where's your mental at? What are you thinking about? How do you feel about certain things? And this is one of those tracks for me, for sure. So I definitely think they did a really good job kind of mixing the two and making the listener feel something like right off the rip. So well done. Well done. Huge shout out to Ozzy. Thank you so much for this. Make sure you go follow them on SoundCloud. They are 10 followers away from 50. And of course, make sure you follow them on Twitter. They are approaching quite literally 240. They are 2 followers away. So make sure you go show them some love on the Bird app, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We are approaching 260 subscribers. We are very close. Very, very, very close. So go show these artists in the channel some motherfucking love. And if you already have, thank you, thank you, thank you. We appreciate you here at Music Mondays, my friend. So, solid start to the night. I'm being honest. I'm being totally, totally honest, my friends. But let's continue on. So, up next is the homie Braden. Now, this is an artist that has been absolutely demolishing 2024 and had a really solid 2023 as well. So Braden, being a very talented alternative vocalist, submitted Coming Down. And their caption is, last plug song for a bit probably, my life as of late, 326. So they do have a project coming out relatively soon, so we'll definitely keep an eye on that, 100%. All right. Let's get into it. Braden, Coming Down. Okay. Okay.
So I am up in the clouds. She want me down. She raps with my sound. Smoke a blunt while I'm coming down. I got this water, I'll drown in it. Like a bitch, I don't want round. You finish. Even when I'm fucking down, I'm winning. I just bought a whole pound of spinning. I gotta stay high. I'ma be like this all night. I know that I'm alright. Gotta have fun before we die. If I see that same flashing lights, good that I'll make it twice. Syrup in the Sprite.
Oh shit. I like that outro a lot. I really, really like that outro. I feel like that was an outro that was different, but it added a little bit of spice to this track. I like this a lot. I definitely like this a lot. All right. Let's break it down. Shit. So let's talk about three things. Let's talk about the instrumental. Let's talk about vocals, and let's talk about the overall theme of Coming Down. Um, as Braden said, this will be the last kind of plug style for a little bit. So, kind of interesting. Kind of interesting. So, let's talk instrumental. Instrumental makes fantastic. To be completely honest with you. Not really a shocker. Braden's one of those artists that really has a good grasp on their instrumentals. For like 99% of their songs. So, not really a shocker, but something I always want to point out. Yeah, nothing clashy, overbearing. Vocals sit nice. Drums definitely knock. Nice and level. Totally where you want everything to be, if I'm being real. Um, so instrumental mix solid. Instrumental shining star. Um, hmm. I kind of want to say drums again. I like the melody a lot, but I feel like the drums were super carrying here. I like the drum selection as well, but all in all, um, I think the drums were such a main player here, 100%. So for me, definitely the drums, but melody's a close second, very very close second. Um, hmm. All right, let's talk vocals. Vocal mix again, fantastic. Braden again is an artist man that has such a lock on their vocals and just mixes in general when it comes to their tracks as a whole. So it's not really a shocker that their vocals are solid on this. Again, nothing clashing too overbearing. Um, Vocals sit nicely, drums cut through nicely. Nothing that really like stuck out. It was like super odd to me, if I'm being honest with you. Um, hmm. Yeah, no, super solid to be honest. The vocal mix solid. Vocal shining star. I like the flow and cadence a lot on this. I like the flow and cadence a lot, but I think the hook is really like not really catchy, but it has the ability to get super stuck in your head because it's so like melodic. So for me, it's got to be the hook. I definitely am thinking the hook on this one for sure. Um, yeah, got to be the hook, but flow and cadence and delivery is definitely a close second. Definitely a close second. So, um, instrumental solid, definitely the drums. A vocal solid, definitely the hook. Let's talk theme, aesthetics. Braden's been opting for these very ominous covers, if you will, right? Definitely has like a very like aesthetically like pleasing look. And this one for Coming Down is relatively simple, but definitely gets the job done. I like this one a lot. Kind of laid back, kind of like has that smooth feel to it, like this track does. So, definitely hits the nail for me. Um, Overall theme. So, very interesting, very very interesting. So, I wouldn't. There's a couple of like you have like the play on words in the hook, right? And then there's a couple of lines throughout the song that kind of like somewhat describes this, but this is definitely like a mixed bag as far as themes go. And Braden's really always been an artist that's been a mixed bag, but this one definitely really was a little bit more of like a show of lyricism and vocal ability as well, right? There's definitely smaller lines throughout this song that I think you could like pick up on like themes depending on if you're like a certain listener or not. So this is one of those tracks that really like to the listener, this could be a couple of different themes. You know, you could really get a lot out of some of the songs in Braden's catalog, and this is totally one of them. Totally one of them, 100%. Depends on how you take it, or you could just really take it at face value. You know what I mean? But well done, my friend. With that said, huge shout out to Braden. Thank you so much for this submission. Make sure you go follow them on Spotify. And of course, make sure you follow them on Twitter. They're approaching 70 followers. They're 7 away. So go show them some love in the bird app, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you have not already. We are approaching 260 subscribers. We upload 2 times a week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of good stuff is available on the channel. And of course, huge shout out to everybody that already has much, much love. Thank you for showing your support to Music Mondays. Let's fucking get it. So, we left off with the homie Braden. Up next is the homie Loudus. Loudus has been working very hard trying to push their new release, and here we are reacting to it live on the show. So, let's get into it. Loudus, a very, very talented producer, submitted a track titled Sounds on This Day. Probably my latest track, Sounds on This Day, my best work so far, in my humble opinion. Well, shit. I guess we'll have to take the journey. I guess we'll definitely have to take the journey. So let's get into it. Pop this open in a new tab. Let's see what we got. Her. Hit it with a little pause. Alright. Go a little 720. Max the volume. Get a little theater mode. Let's get it. Loudest Sounds on This Day. Best track so far in Loudest's opinion. Kick is crazy. Damn. Flow is crazy. Hmm. Nuts. So nuts. Okay. Fantastic. Really solid outro. Really solid everything, to be honest with you. Um, I could see why you would say that this is your best work so far. Um, because from what we've heard on the show, this is definitely one of, if not your best piece, 100%, without a doubt. Now, I think what's special about this one is this one doesn't feel like 7 minutes, because sometimes with a lot of these dance kind of tech, like certain genres, like a lot of them can feel like they drag on a lot. This one had a 7 minute runtime that felt like five. And I think that's what's really good about this is you're kind of like pacing it really well. While also kind of getting into the longer territory for tracks. But for this genre, it's pretty normal, but when it comes down to it, it's all about the pacing, right? Cuz like does like a 7 minute song feel like 7 minutes? You know what I mean? Like that's like the ultimate question, you know? And this one definitely to me did not. So, let's talk about it. Obviously no vocals, so we're gonna talk about two things. We're gonna talk about the instrumental, and we're gonna talk about the overall theme of Sounds on This Day. Um, so, um, let's just get this out the way, man. The mix is fantastic. The mix is absolutely fantastic. Nothing in this track really sounded off to me. Um, Especially kind of like a middle listening volume. There wasn't anything that really threw me off, especially with it having like a good variety of sounds. I definitely didn't notice anything that was a bit off for me anyway. Drums were solid, sounds were solid, synth was solid, melodies were solid. Nothing that really like stuck out to me as off or anything like that. Everything was nice and level, right where it needed to be, but also had like a personality, right? Like I definitely think that there was like a personality here for sure. So definitely wasn't dull at all. So the mix is definitely on point. Instrumental Shining Star. Now, um I was thinking two things for this. Two things kind of came to mind. So the first one was drums. I think drums were fucking fantastic on this. Sound selection was great. Structure was great. Everything about the drums was fantastic, all the way down to the mix. And the other thing that kind of stuck out to me was the structure. I feel like the whole track was structured really well, but it wasn't like erratic structure. It was just like nicely paced, right? Like when it slowed down, it slowed down. When it came back in, it came back in. So the way that this was structured out was a big deal. Was totally a big deal. So I don't think that deserves to go understated. I do like the drums a lot, but for me, it's gonna have to be the structure, just because it was very enjoyable to listen to, especially for somebody like outside the genre, right? Like this is a perfect track to like introduce somebody who's not into this genre. It's one of those tracks that you show people and you're like, oh, you've never heard of da 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 da. Check this out. You know what I mean? This is one of those you show people kind of tracks. You know, oh, you make music. I didn't know that, and then you show them this because it's a little bit more palatable to people that are outside the genre. So I feel like that's one of those things here that is super redeemable, and I feel like that's because of the structure. So again, can't really go understated. So structure, definitely. Overall theme. So we have a visual here. Sounds on This Day. So I do feel like this was a an insane visual for this. Insane in a good way. Because this track definitely felt epic, it felt big, it felt movie like, but it also felt club like the last submission we heard from Loudest. So it was a good mix of like high energy, but this one felt more um it's bigger. It kind of has this energy to it that's it feels more theatrical is the word I'm looking for. Theatrical. Because it just has like such a good high energy. But again, fast paced, kind of has like all the good elements of each genre that's mentioned in the title, right? So trance, dance, tech house, techno, and the alt versions and the subgenres of all those. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of genres at play here. So I do feel like this visualizer captured all those because it did feel credits cinematic like or even just like movie like. So the visual kind of nailed it for me and it wasn't like too complex. Um it definitely hit the nail on the head as far as like a good visual for a track like this. It's not taking away from the track, it's also adding to the track as well. So simple but very effective. 100%. Um so overall theme. Sounds on This Day. That's the really good thing about being a producer, man, is sometimes you don't really like some tracks don't need a theme. Like especially if you're a producer out here just kind of producing for yourself, you are constantly putting out releases, you're kind of establishing your name as a producer. You're not super worried about placements or anything like that. And you're able to express yourself through your song titles, through your art, through your sounds, and through a lot of those things. So I feel like Sounds on This Day is one of those like freedom of expression kind of tracks where like you're just in the fucking studio, you're just in you're just in that artistic creative mood, and this is the kind of shit that can come out of it for sure. So Sounds on This Day kind of points me in that direction as to where it was an artist that was really feeling themselves that day. You know what I mean? Like they really had their fucking 10 toes down. They were just feeling the creative juices flow. And this is one of those tracks that can kind of come out of it. So it just feels natural to me. Feels very, very natural. So again, that's another reason why you're kind of feeling like, not only sound wise, but this is just your best work in general as far as like you as an artist. You know what I mean? You're like this is like creativity. You know what I mean? You're like fuck everything else. Like I'm creating. Like that feeling is irreplaceable for sure. So well done, my friend. Huge shout out to Lattice. Make sure you go sub to their YouTube channel. They earned they're 10 subs away from 20. So now that I fucking came through and Godman 30, I mean. So 10 subs away from 30. Go sub to Lattice channel. Go show them some love on the tube. And of course, make sure you go show Lattice some love on Twitter. They are 4 followers away from 50. So go love on the bird. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube free upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 260 subscribers. And of course, we upload 2 times a week, every Thursday, every Saturday, full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of good stuff is available over there on the channel. And if you've already subbed, thank you, my friends. We appreciate you here at Music Mondays. Let's fucking get it, Lattice. Let's go, baby. Let's go, man. All right, so we finished off with the homie Lattice. Up next is Offspring Mysterious. Now, many of you know Offspring as a multi-talented artist, a producer, a writer, a designer, a editor, a artist of multi-talents, and they submitted a upload titled Unseen Viewer. So, let's pop this open in a tab and see what we got here from the homie Offspring Mysterious. Give it a little pause. Is it me, or do you have a feeling somebody's watching you and you have no privacy? Oh, shit. All right, so we're about to get into it. We are so about to get into it. Let's go. Offspring Mysterious, Unseen Viewer. Let's go. All right. Bam. Bam. Do this. The DQ. The motherfucking DQ, man. No way. What the fuck? Interesting. Very interesting. That one was kind of crazy. That one was definitely kind of crazy. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so a couple things to discuss here, right? Definitely a couple things to talk about. So, I think I definitely know what the Shining Star is, like off rip for sure. But these concepts are getting more and more interesting as we go along. When was this uploaded? So 7 days ago, literally a week ago. So this is like very, very new. Okay. One thing I love about this is the location, 100%. Yeah, the fast-paced stop motion. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Offspring has been really nailing the stop motion for sure. I definitely agree with you, Lattice, 100%. Um, so one thing about this one is the location, right? Look how old that fucking Dairy Queen sign is, by the way. That is like the OG like 90s logo. They have not upgraded that one in a fucking minute. That is crazy to see. But yeah, so um one thing right off rip for me is the location. The location is just super fucking solid. I love the concept. I love the whole just the aesthetics of it all, right? I feel like Offspring is getting like more and more creative with the locations that they kind of go to. So I like this one a lot. I like this one 100%. Um, so that's like right off rip. But you know, the mix of stop motion with the mix of walking onslaught's kind of story aspects is making these for like a very interesting one. Like a very, very interesting watch. Because it's been such a journey, right? If you've been watching Offspring series here on Music Mondays for quite some time, they've made some massive strides with a lot of their content, and they've put full on like double the effort that they already were. Um, so they almost get better and better with each watch. So right off rip, like I said, location is fantastic, but I think the shining star for this one is going to be the concept, right? I think Offspring is really like thinking outside the box. Um, but that's become like a common theme throughout the last couple of submissions is them kind of thinking outside the box and really thinking like what they can do for other concepts. And I think story stuff aside, Offspring, really not caring and just going out and filming content is fucking fire. Like, cause this is the kind of shit that like people are like afraid to do or embarrassed to do or anything like that. Like Offspring does it well and proudly. And I think we need to have a lot more creators out here like not giving a fuck and just going out and creating. And this is exactly what this is. You know what I mean? I think Offspring really goes above and beyond, make a lot of their content kind of push forward. You know what I mean? And Offspring makes it look really worth it. Like even shots like that are fucking hilarious. You know what I mean? Like, and then the cut to like sitting at the table, like a lot of this is fantastic. You know what I mean? So for me, Shining Star is definitely the concept and the location without a doubt. Um, and I'm always excited to see what Offspring kind of cooks up next, man, because these are just getting better and better for sure. Just getting better and better. With that said, a huge shout out to Offspring. Thank you so much for this submission, my friend. Much, much love. Make sure you sub to Offspring on YouTube. They are one sub away from 160. Go show them some love. And of course, make sure you follow Offspring Mysterious on Twitter. They are 7 subs away, or no, 7 followers away from 920. Go show them some love on the Bird app. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 260 subscribers. So make sure you go show these artists on the channel some motherfucking love. Really creative and cool. Yeah, no, I totally agree. I totally agree. Definitely really creative. Definitely. And just like outside the box too, you know what I mean? So super, super cool. But up next we have the homie, Smokin' Cola. Now, I don't believe we've reacted to anything from them in 2024. It's been a while. We reacted to the majority of their discography, and like I said, it's been a while since we heard from them. So, Smokin' Cola, a very talented alternative artist, submitted Good First Impression. Don't think I ever sent you my latest. It's short, sweet, and a little different for me. Shit, that rhymed. All right. I'm with it. Let's get into it. Let's go YouTube. Damn, Smokin' Cola was not kidding. Minute and 5 seconds. Well, shit. Let's break it down. Smokin' Cola. Good First Impression. Oh shit. Oh shit. Okay. All right. All right. So I kind of see I see the vision there. I see the vision. I was ready for the hook to come back in. I was like, "Oh shit." But just one of those short, sweet to the point kind of tracks. I like it. I like it a lot. All right. Definitely is a little bit different for Smoking Cola though. I'd definitely say a little bit on the different side. 100%. Um all right, let's break it down. Let's talk about three things. We'll talk about the instrumental, talk about vocals, and talk about the overall theme of Good First Impression. All right, let's talk instrumental. Mix is fantastic, especially with a lot of live instrumentals on here or live instruments. Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. I've said this about Smoking Cola's style before, but when it comes to this kind of production, you know, sometimes these types of instruments can be a bitch to mix, but this instrumental itself was really solid, really solid. Nothing clashing, too overbearing, nothing that really like threw me off or anything like that. I thought this was like definitely right where it needed to be, super level, uh, super crisp. Definitely no gripes. Definitely no gripes. So instrumental solid. As far as the mix goes, let's talk instrumental Shining Star. Hmm. I kind of want to say drums, but the overall structure is really kind of leaning me like the other direction. Like the overall structure, especially for a 60-second track, um, is solid. You know what I mean? Like this is like super fucking solid, especially like the progression. Like the full beat doesn't even come in until 15, 20, 30 seconds in. So usually sometimes with these shorter tracks they just come in super hot. This one kind of does, but it builds up. So I do feel like the structure for the instrumental was very solid. But sound selection and drums were like a very close second for me, definitely. The instrumental solid, definitely a structure. Let's talk vocals. Vocal Shining Star, or no, a vocal mix. I'm sorry. Um, Kind of an interesting vocal mix. It has this radio like telephone voicemail kind of effect going on, and I like it for Smoking Cola a lot, because usually their vocals are not raw, but they're definitely left in with a lot of passion, right? And they make it work, and it always sounded super solid. But this one's a little bit in like a different direction. Much like they said, it's a little bit different as far as their style goes, and I think they nailed it as far as this vocal mix goes. I feel like, again, much like the Ozzy Bug submission that we had earlier in the night, I really feel like this is one of those ones that's like, okay, um, kind of try to like, kind of like trying new shit to just push towards like making a better overall artist and just overall art in general. So, one of those things that's always a plus. You know what I mean? Always a plus, in my eyes, anyway. But vocal mix definitely solid. Vocal Shining Star. Um, hmm. Uh, you know, I was gonna say hook, but I think flow and cadence and delivery is definitely in order here. Flow and cadence and delivery just right off a rip was just like bam. But it wasn't conventional. It was definitely a little bit of more like eh, I don't want to say freestyle, but it had a little bit more looser style to it. I think Smoke and Cola did a really good job. So definitely flow, cadence, and delivery for me, for sure. Um, so instrumental solid. Definitely the structure. Vocal solid. Definitely the flow and cadence and delivery. Aesthetics. Good first impression. So, this one's kind of interesting, right? Because this is one of those pieces that you can really get a story from, like right off rip. You know what I mean? You have two individuals, they kind of meet up, and right off rip, they have instant chemistry, good first connection, good first impression, right? So kind of like where we're leaning into this title, and I really feel like the artwork definitely represents this. And then of course you have like the light text on it and things like that. So um I think this fit nicely. I definitely think this fit nicely for sure. In my opinion anyway. So aesthetics definitely on point. Um Overall theme. Definitely one of those like more personal kind of tracks that I feel like is written for the artist, right? I mean, no matter like what your ultimate goal in music or like why or how you create music, I think the best music is always coming from the heart or coming from honest feelings. And I definitely feel like this is one of those songs for Smoke and Cola where they just took a feeling they had for a day or a feeling they had over the course of a period of time, just kind of put it into a song. You know what I mean? And this is one of those tracks where it's a very it's a very in the moment kind of feeling for sure. So, well done, my friend. Well done. With that said, huge shout out to Smoking Cola. Thank you so much for this, friend. Much, much love. Make sure you go follow Smoking Cola on YouTube. There, 4 subs away from 10, and of course, make sure you go follow them on Twitter. They are approaching 1.2K on the Bird app. So go show them some love on Twitter. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 260 subaroonies, so make sure you go sub to the channel and show these artists some motherfucking love. And of course, we upload 2 times a week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a lot of good stuff available over there. So go show these artists on the channel some motherfucking love. And of course, huge shout out to everybody that already has showed us some love and support over there on the channel, man. You guys are amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So we left off with homie Smoking Cola. Up next is the homie Survival in Negativity, aka Sin. Stream Part 2 Inkwell. Short for Stream of Consciousness Part 2 in a series of writing exercises using. Oh yeah, okay. So we're back at this. I'm definitely ready. All right, so for those of you that don't know, Survival in Negativity, a very talented hip hop artist, submitted Stream Part 2. So let's pop this open a new tab and see what we got here. I am definitely down, without a doubt. All right, let's see. So this is a very new track, 5 months ago. Let's get into it. Survival Negativity, Stream Part 2. Let's go. Let's get it.
Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Mic check. Yo, so it goes. Introducing the man that no one knows, strolling on the lonely blocks of the city where no one goes. Overdose on the music till he comatose. Used it as a Holy Ghost muse to get him over those nuisances like the usual. But all the stress that made it suitable for me to channel it to profession and pen a musical to suit the soul. Continue movement in pursuit of life experience, curious as to what's new to know. Through the lights, cameras, and action, glamour, glitter, and gold. Use the right plan of attack at hand to get to the goal, whatever that may be. Who said a single destination is the dream that kept us wake until we reach a resting place in this life? No rest for the wicked or faithful of life. Take a break when you die, but it just ain't my time, so I'ma take my time to make it so I ain't got nothing to complain about. Stay in demand, whether it is a rain or drought. Waste my time and only got so many days to count. Blaze a route to make my way to a stage and face the crowd. Play it loud till the places break it down, and they say aloud the lyrics you wrote where my focus is found.
Jesus.
Hold it down, soldier style flow is now potent, ocean bound, soaking up the moment from a floating cloud. Only lower down to note the drown hopes of all the folks around, spoken through closed hands and open mouths. 30 stolen miles of running, gunning for a couple hundred more to hold in case my time is over now. Rather than die as the underground talent no one found, the undiscovered king, abandoned by his chosen crown. Heavy is the head holding it, showing its burden like properties, dropping these jewels from it over this, blowing vibrations over vocal highways to get you open, whether no rhyme pays or it don't. Is it a crime to visualize, deliver this limelight mission for listeners who get it and give it the time? Improvise, written rhymes, sentences, sentence, cynical sentiments, so the ingenuous kind, genuine rhymes for the pen is sublime to these cinnamon pine fitting, given how I'm killing it, get a feel, chillin', recline, yeah. If I can make you put your fists in the air and forget your problems in that time between the kick and the snare, that'd be all the motivation I need.
What the fuck?
Delivered the message in any given preface, just a lesson in vocational deeds. Chasing the dreams, more test of endurance and less is testing your speed. Still not fulfilled, but still got these bills, so it's needs over once till I can chill and focus on concocting ill, real stories of the lifestyles of the poor and nameless, entertainers, dangerous and glorious and hostile. Daydreaming of making it to the motherland to see it and watch now waters flow upstream, north towards freedom as my ancestors did when they were captives of foreign legions. On the run, imploring me to fly with my son. What should I stop when this oyster is for he and I? Realizing my potential is the principle, be it with theorizing written literature and instrumentals or whatever else is in the plan. I don't pretend to know, I just tend to play the hand I was dealt. Working on my poker face, can't abandon my tells, but can't hope to motivate if I don't take command of myself. Potential halo holder stranded in hell. Went the simple goal to reach the golden gates and be welcomed with hands held open. A boy to a man who felt hopeless outside of using his pen to try to patch a magnum opus together.
My God.
Sometimes I just write with no ending in sight, no goal either, just a limitless plight. To feel alive, knowing time brings me closer to the reaper. Trying to get my son to put his focus on achievements. He treats it like magic when I tell him he should go for what his dream is, because he doesn't see it, so he don't believe it. So I chose to be it. And with that weight on my shoulders, I know I owe him every morning, every evening. I'm breathing to show him what you can hold if you never lower your reach. Keep hands open for moments to receive, moments to teach, moments to learn, moments overall, all over the course of this moment to moment installment of the journey we involved in. If we ain't evolving, we dissolving into the ether, keeping our resolve is a never-ending struggle. Snuggle up within the demons in the evening and feeding pieces of dreams from the cauldron. We cooking up ideas and starving for new meal tickets to deal in and keep us off the wall, also to keep us from behind it. Leave it to our environment, we die bleeding in poverty-inspired violence. But we acquire knowledge and apply science as God-given and invented with designs timeless. The mind is undenied. Come alive, let the stream flow through till the inkwell runs dry.
Bro. What the fuck? Come on, man. That was 4 minutes of bars. Like that was just 4 straight minutes of just like, I don't even, Jesus. All right. Fuck me. Let's talk about it, man. Let's break it down. Let's have a little discussion here, okay? Good God, that was crazy. Fuck. I haven't heard somebody spit like that on the show in quite some time. That was wow, that's a part 2, isn't it? Holy fuck. All right. Yeah, let's talk about it. We're talking about 3 things. Talk about the instrumental, we're talking about vocals, and we're talking about the overall theme of this track. So, let's talk instrumental. I like the choice as well, especially for this kind of like format, you know, this cypher freestyle kind of just like pen to paper kind of style. I just feel like this is a good bare bones classic style to pick, if I'm being honest. So let's talk mix. Instrumental mix. Fantastic. Sin is an artist that usually has a pretty good lockdown on a lot of their mixes. So it's not really a shocker that this instrumental sounds super crisp, but it's definitely something I always want to point out, right? Nothing clashing to overbearing, nothing that really like, you know, struck me as odd or anything like that. Yeah, now looking back on it, super solid. So instrumental mix, definitely right where it needs to be. Instrumental shining star. You know, I was gonna say melody originally, but I do feel like the drums and the drum selection in specific was very solid for this kind of style. Kind of has that like classical hip hop feel with like a more modern taste to it. Um, so for that reason, I'm definitely gonna go drums for sure. So instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix again, fantastic. Like I said, this is an artist that has a pretty good lock on their mix, especially when it comes to their vocals. So not really a shocker that they sound super solid here. Sin has a really solid natural voice when it comes down to um, how they kind of create their tracks. So I feel like this is a no brainer. You know what I mean? Super crisp, super clean. Drums cut through nicely. Vocals sit nice in the instrumental. Nothing that really like threw me off at all either. So vocal mix solid. Vocal shining star. Jesus. So I mean, like, look, the obvious no brainer is fucking writing, right? Because it's like that was nuts because it was just bar after bar, punchline after punchline, wordplay after wordplay. So I think just to shine some light on another aspect of this song, I want to say flow and cadence and delivery, just because this was 4 minutes of like destruction. Like this was 4 minutes of just like spitting, like pure spitting. Like not a lot of rappers have the ability to do that. You know, like some people can go to 3 minutes most. This is what four. Yeah, like it clocked in at like 4:10. So, um, yeah, man, flowing cadence and delivery all day for me. It just made everything else more vibrant to listen to, I guess. But writing is obviously a close second. But for me, flow and cadence and delivery, without a doubt, for sure. So, let's see. Let's talk theme, aesthetics. Fantastic. I mean, I like the original image too, like this very like pen paper kind of feel. I like this a lot, because that's really what this is, right? According to Sin, this is more of like a writing exercise just to keep them sharp and really keep their mind like in that mode, right? Of just always rhyming, always writing, always kind of thinking of new ways to really execute your music. So, aesthetics are definitely on point for me, especially with the whole blue font matching the blue kind of ink, and I like it a lot. I definitely like it a lot. Simple but effective, you know what I mean? And it um has that like classical underground feel to it a little bit. Just like that hidden track you find and you're like, yo, this fucking bangs. It has that kind of feel. So, aesthetics on point, definitely. Overall theme, um, obviously no overall theme, right? This is a track where it's quite literally stated that this is like for a writing exercise. This is for keeping your mind sharp. This is for keeping your writing sharp. This is for keeping you as an artist sharp when it comes to um, writing in general, realistically. So obviously no clear theme, but there's a lot of stuff that you could have picked up on here. You could have made a theme out of it, but it's definitely meant to be listened to and just absorbed. But you can always take themes from any song that you listen to, right? But this one definitely has a more shine on the vocal and writing ability, without a doubt. So, with that said, huge shout out to Sin. Thank you so much for the submission. Much love. Make sure you go follow Sin on SoundCloud. They're 9 away from 260. And of course, make sure you go follow them on Twitter. They are 10 away from 330. So go show them some love in the bird app, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 260 subscribers. So go show the channel these artists some love. And of course, we upload 2 times a week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, whole lot of good stuff available over there. So go show these artists in the channel some motherfucking love. Let's get it, baby. Holy mackerel, that was crazy. Yeah, man, no bullshit. I don't think that I've heard somebody spit like that on the show in terms of like raw like hip hop like fucking writing in quite a while. You know what I mean? Like that was nuts. But it's always fun to do, you know? So I could see why Sin would like want to do some shit like that. It's like really always fun to do. But you guys know the drill, man. We're about halfway through the show. So you know what that means. We're going to take a quick commercial break, but when we return, we're going to hop right back into the rest of our community submissions. So I'm going to need everybody to get up, go get a drink, go get a snack, go walk your dog, go take a smoke break, go do whatever you need to do. And when we return, Music Mondays podcast, episode 163 will continue, and we're going to run through the rest of these community submissions, man. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back here live with the Music Mondays podcast, episode 163. We are going to hop right back into some community submissions. So, we left off with the homie Survival Negativity, and up next we have Gavs Brownie, aka Conscious of Kings. Conscious of Kings new EP featuring Nat Daniels, Don't Come For Me Unless I Send For You. 4 songs. Alright, I got you, Conscious of Kings. Let's go see what we got here from the homie. I believe it's been a while since we heard from him. I think late 2023 or so, but a very talented alternative vocalist submitted again, Don't Come For Me Unless I Send For You. So obviously we're gonna go with the first track off of the EP, and we'll give us some thoughts. Alright, Selling Sunshine is track 1. Let's get into it. Conscious of Kings, Selling Sunshine, let's go. Vibes.
I'm selling sunshine to dry your tears. That's the way it just feels. It's wild frontiers on an awkward silence. That's louder than life. I just can't get enough of this tonight. Ooh, tonight. Blinded like the burning sun. Turn it up and push it down. Staring at an angel's light. Help me to forget tonight. Ooh, tonight. Help me to forget tonight. I'm selling sunshine to dry your tears. The best I can do to help your fears. 21 guns through would be for you. In your secret sadness, to free you from this utter madness.
Damn.
So let's unpack this, begin to stop this, to find what's wrong, find where we belong, where we belong, where we belong.
Damn. That was a fucking ballad and a half. Holy shit. Wow. The last two submissions were fucking crazy, I'm not gonna lie. Like, holy shit. Alright. Um Good God Almighty. Alright. Uh let's see here. So we're gonna talk about three things. Break this one down. So we're gonna talk about the instrumental, we're talking about vocals, and we're talking about the overall theme of Selling Sunshine. Um let's talk instrumental because this is kind of a loaded one, if I do say so myself. But the mix, let's start there. The mix is great, nice and tight, super level, nothing clashing too overbearing. Definitely nothing that threw me off at all, especially with how many sounds are throughout this whole instrumental. Very solid, very very solid. And plus, you guys know how I feel about like the alternative side of things. Sometimes, live instruments can get really wonky to start mixing, right? And I think this one was definitely on point, definitely on point. So, instrumental mix, W, big W. Um, Instrumental Shining Star, man. Uh okay, I like the drums a lot. The drums are a great supporting factor here, but I think for the first time tonight, I'm gonna go with melodies. The melodies throughout this whole track are really crazy and really bring a lot of emotion. Right, I think drums keep up the fast pace just as well, but the emotion is something you just kind of like. You can't not feel it in this song. So definitely melodies for sure. Um, so instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals. Um, a vocal mix, fantastic. Again, especially with such a live instrument bass instrumental. Vocals definitely sit nice. Nothing clashing to overbearing. Drums cut through nicely. Um, Super level with the melodies. Nothing that really like threw me off. Nothing was really fighting with each other. Vocals were solid in my opinion. So, um, definitely no gripes at all. Um, Vocal Shining Star. Um, hmm. There's a couple of ways I could go for this. There's definitely a couple of ways I could go. I think writing was solid, but I think the thing at the end of the day that really was like something I take home was the flow and cadence and delivery. Flow and the cadence was just so fast paced, high energy, really solid to be honest with you. So for me, flow and cadence and delivery, 110%, definitely, definitely. So instrumental solid, definitely the melodies. Vocal solid, definitely the flow and cadence and delivery. Um, let's talk theme. Aesthetics. Conscious of Kings with Nat Daniels. Don't come for me unless I send for you. So I like the simplicity of this. I like the simplicity of this a lot. Definitely EP slash like project worthy, in my opinion. You got the text on screen, title down below. Nothing that really like was super off-putting for this. I feel like this definitely nailed it. I like the foreground a lot. Simple, you know what I mean? Like simple is always like a really good safe route with certain art pieces. Especially if you don't really have like a solid direction, but this one's solid. This one's definitely solid for sure. But like I said, especially for EP, you know what I mean? So aesthetics definitely on point. Um, Overall theme, Selling Sunshine. Well, it's funny because this song's title could have very well have been "Don't Come for Me Unless I Send for You." So I feel like either title would have worked for this, but the fact that it is Selling Sunshine, I feel like they wanted a little bit more meaning. So that's probably why they went with instead of the EP title. But I think one big takeaway here is the rawness of emotion, right? Selling Sunshine is a personal song definitely, but I think the listener, especially on the first listen, can really start to gather some, not like hidden emotions, but like subliminal emotions. I feel like is a really good way to put it. Um, Really just about the risk reward factors of kind of like going to great lengths to kind of please people and make them happy and kind of like give them what they want, and just really do the most that you can for certain people that you love, right? So the phrase even selling sunshine is like super deep in itself, but there's a couple of lines throughout this whole track that I think you could kind of make up your own theme with, but for the most part I think this is a good intro track for an EP like this, because you have the EP title and its own kind of track in the first track. So that's kind of crazy. You know what I mean? You're kind of getting like a 2-for-1 here. Um right off rip. So that's what I like about this. And also, um I think the other thing to note here is like this is a great intro track to a project, right? Like if you're a first time listener, this is definitely gonna um uh make you want to continue listening, right? I always say that about EP tracks or even just album tracks or just the first track on any project, man. Like it's got to be the hook. It's got to be a like a good intro, right? Like it's either got to be a banger or B a nice slow intro that kind of introduces everybody to the project. But this is definitely one that hooks people in and is gonna make a first time listener want to continue. So well done. With that said, huge shout out to Gaz, aka Conscious of Kings. Make sure you go follow them on Spotify, and of course, make sure you follow them on Twitter as well. They're approaching 480 followers. They are 4 away. Go show them some love in the bird at, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 260 subscribers. We upload 2 times a week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a lot of good stuff's available over there on the channel. So go show these artists in the channel some motherfucking love. And if you already have, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's get it, baby. Another crazy submission back to back. That was kind of nuts. That was really, really kind of nuts to fucking to really like have those back to back, But regardless, let's continue on. Left off with Conscious of Kings. Up next is the homie Jordan, aka Jordan Andrew. They submitted a Mac TM Superstar, prod by Dead Lighters. Now, for those of you that don't know, Jordan, a very talented alternative artist and producer, has a special submission for us tonight. Has a very, very special submission. Not often that we get to react to tracks that Dead Lighters are produced, but tonight's the night. New Mac TM and Dead Lighters on March 13th, 2024. I believe that's like a week away or so. Yeah, like less than, like a little over a week. So that'll be out by the time, or no, it won't be out. So shit. But next week, definitely next week, next Wednesday. But regardless, let's pop this open in a new tab and see what we got here from the homie Jordan. Okay, so we have a private track, obviously. We're not gonna pull it open in a new tab, so let's fucking get into it, man. Mac TM Superstar, prod by Dead Lighters. Let's go.
Yeah. Everybody wanna be a villain. Everybody wanna be a superstar. Baby, just fight that feeling. And then come back to me who you are. I know that you a star. I know that you a star. Yeah. Hey. Vibing. For the time of my life. For the time feeling right, yeah. Yo, everybody wanna be a villain. Everybody wanna be a superstar. Baby, just fight that feeling. And then come back to me who you are, baby. Please just tell me who you. Yeah. Please just tell me who you. Only time will tell. A many girls found me in a wishing well. I don't kiss and tell. Can't lose something that you never had. Just an idea, don't make it real. Life goes on, fuck how you feel. She keep telling me I should value more. My mind's on the money, I value meals. I value meals. Weird nigga headed just bought me the Florence. No slight flex when I flock with the phones. Double white cup, boy, he need the vibe. Not a white bitch without thinking if she was a fan of Lauren.
Now she's snoring. And 2x to the T, I'm in the middle of Florence. A wheel was torn, so everything normal. I paid in the fortune, but fortunately it was made in the fortress. A ghost of my walkers of Florence. For imposter to sit up beside me and measure up, see if their lattice can grow in. See if their lattice can grow in, baby. See if their lattice can grow in. Let's see if their lattice can grow in, baby. Everybody wanna be a villain. Everybody wanna be a superstar. Baby, just fight that feeling. And then come back to me who you are, baby. Please just tell me who you are. Tell me who you are. Please just tell me who you are. I don't wanna talk to the president. I heard that man got a mask. I don't wanna blast unless I blast off. Get into the house, I'm taking my hat off. To abide by the rules and make your head drop. Shoot from the ground and call me that shot. If you're looking down to pick your head up. If you're looking down to pick your crown up. A body absorbing the weight of my crown. We gotta be strong if you wanna get better. Smell like cologne and call it the weather. Broadcast like it's making it better. They entertain from the rain and the weather, I said. Yeah.
Damn.
They entertain from the red and the water, I said. Yeah. Listen, everybody wanna be a villain. Everybody wanna be a superstar. And baby, just fight that feeling. And then come back to me who you. Yeah. Please come back to me who you. She told me, she said, you know I'm a star. You know I'm a star. Baby, if you can't see me shine, then love me from afar, baby, whoa.
Tag was crazy at the end. Perfect. Wow. This is a deep one. This is a deep one for sure. Let's talk about it because a lot to kind of run down. So, shit. We're gonna talk about three things. We're gonna talk about the instrumental. We're gonna talk about vocals, and we're gonna talk about the overall theme of Superstar. So, let's talk instrumental. Prod Deadlighters, and not really a shocker that the mix is on point, right? I mean, I kind of always say that for Jordan, but for those of you that are new here, Deadlighters and Jordan always have a very solid mix, especially when it comes down to their instrumentals, right? So that's nothing new here. But as far as the instrumental goes, very solid. Nothing clashing, too overbearing, nothing that really, like, struck me as off or weird or anything like that. Vocals sit nice. Drums are actually really fantastic as well. But strictly speaking on the instrumental, very solid. Very solid, no gripes at all. Not really a shocker to me, but definitely a very consistent mix nonetheless. So instrumental mix solid, instrumental shining star. You know, this was a really crazy instrumental, I'm not gonna lie. Really crazy for like a couple of reasons, right? I feel like even just like the overall rhythm and just like the energy of the instrumental was really crazy. Like really crazy. Like the way that the drums were kind of bouncing off the melody, I think is something that cannot be understated. Like this is a really solid instrumental. So it's no doubt that a vocalist kind of hopped on this and they were like, fuck it. You know what I mean? So this one's excellent. Really excellent. But it has that like alternative flavor to it, right? It's not exactly one genre. So I think it has a nice balance of a couple of different sounds, right? It's leaning towards that like alternative style, but the drums kind of support that like flow and rhythm factor, you know? So instrumental shining star. And I mean you really could go structure. Structure's really crazy, but drums are up there for me, man. Drums are really up there for me. If like I'm totally being honest. Cuz like the sound selection's really solid too. Like it's not just the drum patterns. Like I feel like the sound selection's really solid, but the melodies are great too. The melodies bring that like emotion out of the vocals though. So like I don't know, like strictly speaking on the instrumental, I'd say drums, but as the whole track, I'd definitely say melody. So for me, definitely the melodies, definitely. So instrumental solid. let's talk vocals. Vocal mix is fantastic. Definitely nothing clashing to overbearing. Mac has a really solid like natural voice, right? So that's not something you kind of wanted to like go in and process. I mean, you really could and make it sound sick, but for like what I think Mac was going for, I think the real like natural like level approach was a solid choice, definitely. Um, and of course, drums cut through nicely, vocals sit nice in the instrumental. No gripes, definitely no gripes. As far as the vocal mix goes. Um, hmm, vocal shining star. Vocal shining star is kind of crazy because you could go with a lot here. The overall writing throughout the whole track was pretty crazy, and then you have the hook, right, and then the flow and cadence. Um, the hook is really fucking solid though. Mm, I feel like the hook is only solid because of the writing. I mean, obviously the flow and cadence is great, but the writing throughout the whole track is great. You know what I mean? Not just the hooks. So for me, probably the writing throughout the whole song was like very much on point, very much so. Um, so instrumental solid, definitely the melodies, vocal solid, definitely the writing without a doubt. So overall theme. So this cover is kind of interesting because we have the IRL direction, right? So the IRL direction is already a plus, and then we have this like post processing edit of this like Dead Lighters Jordan kind of feel to it, right? It has this like almost collage like kind of abstract kind of feel to it, you know what I mean? But the colors, the color palette is so Dead Lighters and Jordan that I feel like it's so on brand, man. Like I don't think you could have gotten a better cover out of this. I really don't. Especially for like a one-off single, like this is great. I mean, yeah, like you could have, right? But for like what this is, I think this fucking nailed it for sure. So aesthetics definitely on point. Definitely. Overall theme. So outside of the writing and like the obvious lyrics and punchlines, I feel like it's all stacked in the hook, right? I feel like a lot of the verses kind of stem from the hook, and you know the the natural human process that people have to go through to kind of find themselves, right? I think Max speaks on that a lot here, where you kind of are dealing with people in your personal life or even friendships where people just don't know who they are, and then by extension they start acting like shit. You know what I mean? They start acting weird, this, that, and the third, and like people who don't know themselves are sometimes very fucking dangerous. You know what I mean? Like I don't think that this hook was like an exaggeration at all. I think it's important to find yourself, right? And to give yourself time to find yourself, right? I don't think it's just like a night and day thing, but I think Mac did a really good job kind of speaking on that aspect and really talking about how people, again, that just don't know who they are, or they haven't found themselves yet, or they don't know like their place in life, or like don't have dreams or goals or anything like that, are sometimes very detrimental to be around or have in your life, unfortunately. So sometimes naturally you try to stick around and see it through, and hopefully they just find themselves while you're still around. Or sometimes it goes down the shitter and you're just like, damn, I can't be around you anymore because you need time to find yourself, which is like a hard thing. You know what I mean? So at a surface level, I guess you could kind of understand that theme, but I think Mac did a really good job kind of painting that picture for a first time listener. So well done. With that said, a huge shout out to Mac and Jordan at Dead Lighters. Make sure you go follow Jordan on Twitter. They're 2 followers away from 400, man. 2. So go give him to 400. That's a fucking fire milestone. And of course, make sure you follow Jordan on SoundCloud as well. Go show him some love on both platforms. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 260 subscribers. We upload 2 times a week, my friends. Every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a whole lot of good stuff's available over there, man. So go show these artists on the channel some motherfucking love. Let's get it, baby. And if you already have, thank you. We appreciate you here at Music Mondays. Get it. So, that was a crazy ass submission. That was definitely fucking Jesus. that was something. All right, let's continue on, my friends. We left off with homie Jordan. Up next is a Groovy Mind, but we already reacted to a Groovy Mind's submission of The Sound. So, with that said, huge shout out to Groovy Mind for the submission, but if you'd like to see us react to this, definitely go check out Music Mondays episode 162. And Groovy, feel free to resubmit next week or tomorrow, and we'll be happy to react to a track that we already have not reacted to here. Up next is the homie Bloodcat. Bloodcat has been on a tear, despite having a quite possibly difficult last couple of months. A very talented alternative vocalist submitted a track titled Before I'm Gone from 2023. I'm down. Let's get into it. Let's see what we got here from the homie B-Cat. 2017 demo. So a little bit of an older track, but came out last year nonetheless. So a little something from the vault, but a little something fucking different too. So let's get into it. Bloodcat, Before I'm Gone. Let's go. Oh shit.
Does the progress end with each appointment? Does it stop when little hands act for? Does it die with every everlasting moment? Or can it find its way through any open door? Now she's smoking indoors and bringing home men that I've seen before, but I'll get through this. It's been this way for so long. People like you and I don't die alone, so darling, please pick up the phone. I need to talk before I'm gone. I need to talk before I'm gone. If I just drink another 3 to keep the night away from me. If I don't sleep, then I won't dream. If I don't dream, then I won't see you, my dear, flying over me, just crying over me. You won't understand why. No, you won't understand why. No, you won't understand why. She's smoking indoors and bringing home men that I've seen before, but I'll get through this. It's been this way for so long. People like you and I don't die alone, so darling, please pick up the phone. I need to talk before I'm gone. I need to talk before I'm gone.
That was a fucking banger. That was a fucking banger. Man, I'm trying to think back if we've heard like acoustic Bloodcat tracks. I'm really trying to think back if we have. If we have, man, it's been a very, very long time. It's definitely been a while since we've gotten a chance to break down the emotional B-Cat, man. Let's talk about it and let's break it down. So, we're gonna talk about 3 things. Talk about the instrumental, talk about vocals, talk about the overall theme Before I'm Gone. So, instrumental, obviously very simple. Got a melody throughout the whole song, right? So acoustic, stripped down, however you want to call it. But with that said, the mix is great. And shit, everything's in tune. Everything's kind of on the up and up, right? I mean, not much to dissect as far as like a mix goes, right? Like as long as the melody itself sounds solid, you should be in a good spot, right? Like you should definitely be in a good spot. So, instrumental mix definitely solid. Again, not clashing with the vocals at all. Definitely vocals sit nice, that's for sure. But yeah, right where it needs to be. Definitely right where it needs to be. Instrumental shining star. Obviously melody, right? Because that's like the one thing that we have going on here. Yeah, definitely melody. Definitely melody, 100%. So instrumental solid. Um, let's see here. Talk vocals. Vocal mix is actually really fucking solid. If I'm being totally honest with you. Um, super crisp, super natural, has that like emotional effect to it. Like these are vocals you don't want to process too much because it has like such an emotional kind of theme to it, right? Like you want these vocals to kind of stick. So I feel like the whole um natural direction was a good choice, especially from 2017, right? So obviously you want to keep that in mind. It's not like it's a fucking brand new track. Um, but yeah, definitely solid for what it is. Definitely solid for what it is, and it has that real emotional effect to it. So vocal mix definitely solid. Vocal shining star. I'm kind of tied between flow and cadence and writing. Flow and cadence and writing are really, really up there. Really up there. Uh, hmm. Probably writing because it's such like a meaningful, kind of emotional track, and I think Bloodcat did a really good job, kind of just pushing that boundary, and pushing that bar. So definitely writing for me. But flow and cadence and delivery is a close second. Um, okay. So instrumental solid, definitely the melody. Vocal solid, definitely the writing. Overall theme, aesthetics. Let's talk. Um, this is a whole project cover, right? So we have a bunch of cats going on here. So Bloodcat's always been one to kind of keep the Bloodcat theme running, and I think they do a really good job with it. So obviously, totally project worthy, and totally keeps along the line of like the Bloodcat kind of theme, right? So, um, definitely a solid cover, no doubt a solid cover. This one is track 7 off of a 10-track album. So I definitely think that that's like a solid placement for a song like that, especially for a full length, right? Like, because you don't want to start the project off like low energy, right? Like some of the first couple tracks should really want to like dive you in, and then obviously kind of like slow down as the project goes on, or speed it up depending on what your vision is, of course. But um, I thought the placement was really solid, but obviously the theme is like super clear, right? Definitely an emotional ballad. Definitely something where Bloodcat really put their feelings front and center. Really, what felt like to me, got a lot of shit off their chest. You know what I mean? And was able to like put out a message in like proper, healthy way. You know? And I really feel like that's like the like real redeeming factor of music is like you have the ability as an artist to like put out messages that sometimes are harder to put out if it's not through music or art. Sometimes certain messages just are like sometimes words just don't do it justice, or like you can't really describe it in words, but describing certain feelings in tracks is something special. And definitely a ballad for sure. I think Bloodcat did a really good job kind of putting their emotions front and center and really creating a meaningful track for them, which is really what music is all about. So, well done. Well done, my friend. With that said, huge shout out to Bloodcat. Make sure you go follow them on Spotify. And of course, make sure you fucking follow Bloodcat on Twitter. They are approaching 10 followers. This is their new Twitter. They are literally 5 away. So make sure you go show a Bloodcat some love on the Bird app, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube we upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 260 subroonies. So make sure you go show these artists on the channel some love. If you already have, thank you. We appreciate you here at Music Mondays. Go. Alrighty. So, up next would be the homie I Say, but again, we already reacted to this track, What's the Sauce, last week. So again, make sure you go check out episode 162 if you have not seen us react to What's the Sauce by I Say. And of course, friendly reminder, make sure you submit tracks that we have not reacted to here on the show. Just so we don't get a lot of repeat submissions and you guys actually go check out the reviews for the actual songs, right? So definitely go check out us react to What's the Sauce from episode 162, and feel free to resubmit next week with a track that we have not reacted to. So, let's continue on, my friends. Let's continue on. So, looking like a couple submissions left. All right. So after I say, we have the homie Laveries. All right. So Laveries came through right at the last second. As soon as we closed submissions tonight, Laveries literally had like a submission come through like right on the dot, like not like an hour after. Like as soon as we posted submissions are closed, Laveries said, "Hold up, no wait." So huge shout out to Laveries for getting your submission in on time. I appreciate you, my friend. So Laveries, a very talented hip hop vocalist, submitted Ear Candy, Whatever She Wants, season 1, episode 7. Now for those of you that don't know, Ear Candy is a content series that Laveries is doing on their YouTube channel. So let's go see what episode 7 has in store for us, because I am definitely down. Pop it, open a new tab. Let's see what we got. Alright. So give it a quick pause. Go a little 720. You got full volume. Alright, let's get into it. Laveries, Ear Candy, Whatever She Wants, season 1, episode 7. Oh shit. Over there on Twitter, my friends. And of course, like I said, everybody will be linked in the description per usual. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 260 subroonies. We upload 2 times a week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a whole lot of good stuff is available over there on our channel, my friends. And if you've already subbed, thank you. We appreciate you here at Music Mondays. Let's fucking get it. So, let's continue on. We left off with the homie Laveries, new episode of Ear Candy, and up next is the homie Patterns, aka Lil Wet Wet. They've been on a tear in 2024 from new visuals, singles, projects. They've been really killing it. So they submitted a brand new track, Idyllic. Let's see what we got here. Pop this open in a new, oh shit. Pop this open in a new tab. Pop to open a new window. Let's go SoundCloud. See what we got here from the homie Lil Wet Wet, man. I am definitely down. Absolutely. So, let's get into it. For those of you that don't know, Lil Wet Wet, a very, very talented alternative vocalist, made a brand new track. Well, let's get into it. Wow. All right. So this was really crazy. This was really, really crazy, actually. So, a couple things to talk about here. A couple things to talk about. A couple things to break down. Let's talk about it. Let's do it. So we are going to talk about three things. We're talking about the instrumental. We're going to talk about vocals, and we're talking about the overall theme of Idyllic. So, um, hmm. Okay. So let's talk instrumental. Prod Homecoming Queen. So this is our second HQ track of the night, which is really cool. I think that's the first time that's ever happened. But regardless, let's talk mix. Homecoming Queen is a artist that we've reacted to plenty of times on the show, but all their production is always super 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 fucking solid, especially when it comes down to their mix. Everything knocks, nothing clashing too overbearing. Drums cut through nicely, vocals sit nice, definitely. Nothing that really struck me as odd, but again, not really a shocker. But for those of you that are new here, Homecoming Queen is a producer that has a pretty good lock on their mix. That's for sure. Um, Instrumentally, of course. Um, so instrumental Shining Star. Um, hmm. You know, I feel like the melody definitely played a really big part here, but these drums were just super on point. Energy, sound selection, mix, they all knock very hard. Yeah, it's got to be the drums for me. Although structure is kind of like an underrated one as well. I feel like structure is something that you could also talk about with this track. But I'm gonna go with drums. I'm definitely gonna go with drums. Um, so instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix again, fantastic. Um, Mix and master by Lil Wet Wet, and again, this is an artist that has a pretty good lock on their vocals, especially with certain types of tracks and certain styles that they really want to push forward, and certain tracks call for different styles, right? And I feel like Lil Wet Wet has really become a master at that, and really understanding like what they want to sound like on certain beats and things like that, right? But again, not a shocker. But for those of you that are new here, super super solid, consistent vocal mix, 100%. Um, definitely has that like extra spice that I think these types of instruments need for sure. Much like I was saying about Ozzy earlier, Wet Wet has the same effect, definitely. Um, Vocal Shining Star. Now, I was going to say writing. I feel like writing was definitely about to be up there, but flow and cadence, man, like kind of gripped me. Like towards the end of the track, like the flow and cadence was like wow, like holy fuck. So as a whole, I'm definitely gonna say flow and cadence, but writing is definitely a big second. And structure, to be honest with you, because I feel like the way that these vocals were structured was really solid too, really solid. That's definitely another underrated part. But definitely flow and cadence and delivery for sure. Um, so instrumental solid, definitely drums, vocal solid, definitely the flow and cadence and delivery. Let's talk theme, aesthetics. Um, you guys know how I feel about the IRL shots, man. These are always gonna work. These are always gonna fucking work, especially like one like this where it's like it has this effect of like being from like a bigger photo, obviously, right? But has that like magazine kind of feel to it a little bit. It's such a good edit. Slight, small, simple, minimalistic, but it gets the job done. Of course, text across the screen. Um, Always a solid choice, man. Always a solid choice for me, to be honest with you. So aesthetics on point. Overall theme. I think this is definitely another wet track where we not only like kind of looking back on the past, but this one feels like a almost like a day in the life kind of feel, right? Like stepping into Wet Wet's mind as an artist is always a fun ride because you never really know what you're gonna get. You know, you could have some really good past reflections, or you could have some like really just like day in the life kind of feel like we have here, or it could have an emotional ballad as well. You know, it's always a nice mix of writing and honesty, for sure. Um, so this one kind of being somewhat of like a love ballad mixed with a lyrical showcase. I think Wet Wet did a really good job with this one. It's a really solid like cover song, if you will. You know what I mean? Like somebody pulls up to you and they're like, "Yo, I didn't know you make music," and then you show them this song, and then they're like, "Oh, you know what I mean?" So it's really good, like one of those like first tracks, for somebody that has never been introduced to this kind of sound or anything like that. Um, well done, well done. Fucking get it, baby. Huge shout out to Lil Wet Wet. Make sure you go follow them on SoundCloud. They are 10 followers away from 660, and of course, make sure you follow them on Twitter. They are 9 followers away from 450 2W milestones. Go show them some love on the Bird and SoundCloud, my friend. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 260 sub-roonies on the channel. And of course, we upload 2 times a week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a whole lot of good stuff available over there on the channel. So go show these artists on the channel some motherfucking love, baby. Let's get it. And if you already have, like I said, thank you. We appreciate you here at Music Mondays. All right. So, up next, we left off with the homie Lil Wet Wet, and we have Dry My Eyes. A very, very talented alternative vocalist submitted Protect. I am definitely down. See what we got here from the homie Dry My Eyes for sure. Oh shit, it looks like they updated the art as well. Got a little bit of a art update. Okay, I'm down. I'm definitely down. Get it, Dry My Eyes, Protect.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Intersect. Toss and reflect. I go against all the bad shit. Also protect. Now do not fret. Most of them were not the best, but through neglect I will rise here. Calm and content. I never miss. I just come close, a subtle boasting of tension. Be what I'm toast, this inner prose. Spin an innermost, layered centerfold. Enter and roast, another road was a metaphor. Cannot call it home, but it's beautiful. Over near my cuticle, I felt unusual, disinvolved. Thoughts all tangled, lost my job, so I found a different waveform. And we won't have delay. They want my soul, hell no, get away. You're not living in today. Best not pivot. Sauce dripping hot, but the raw sound vivid. Overdid it. They all say I've rapped, and I may have thought so, but I never have. You can say whatever, damn. I'm a better man. No more air, no more land. What's your fucking plan? Intersect. Toss and reflect. I go against all the bad shit. Also protect. Now do not fret. Most of them were not the best, but through neglect I will rise here. Calm and content. I never miss. I just come close, a subtle boasting of tension. Be what I'm toast, this inner prose. Spin an innermost, layered centerfold. Enter and roast, another road was a metaphor. Metaphorical lie in the metaphysical.
Damn.
The debts were over critical lies. Well, that is typical. Want to bring in demise, you're parasitical. I was grown in mythical highs, your vibe is pitiful. Hit the floor, die, arise imprippable. Guess I'm not a bitch, no surprise. My mic's the principal. Invisible rhymes, these lines in visceral eyes. I feel invincible. The risk and move ties, the residents of row. Coasting in a consciousness and culture. No deep down, I know that most of this is parchments for the vultures. Out of much here. Finally left devotion in debauchery. If I soon have to leave, that's enough for me. Intersect, toss and reflect. I go against all the bad shit. Also protect, now do not fret. Most of them were not the best, but through neglect I will rise here. Calm and content, I never miss. I just come close, a subtle boasting of tension. Be what I'm toast, this inner prose. Spin an innermost, layered centerfold. Enter and roast, another road was a metaphor.
Damn. That was fucking crazy. That was such a ride, man. Like there was so many different genres blending there. So many, like, you had like this was, man, you don't see blends like this often, especially done this well, right? Like I think it takes time for people to like blend styles like this. But Dry My Eyes definitely has like a good direction going here. Like this is some impressive shit, you know what I mean? Just because it's not very original. It feels fresh. Um let's break it down. So, we're gonna talk about three things here. We're talking about the instrumental, talk about vocals, and we're talking about the overall theme of this track. So, let's talk instrumental. A very interesting instrumental. Like it has like a conflicting, like emotional kind of feel to it. Has like somewhat of like emotional kind of pulling feeling, but it's still very like um high energy, right? The drums kind of contribute to that factor, but nonetheless, mix is great. Nothing clashing to overbearing. Nothing that really like uh threw me off or anything like that. Vocals sit nice, drums cut through nicely. Everything's like really right where it needs to be as far as the instrumental goes. Um, Instrumental shining star. Now, um, man, I kind of want to say the drums, just because they added that element of like of just grittiness. But man, the melody. I don't know. I'm gonna have to say drums. I'm gonna have to say drums. I feel like drums are super super solid for this. Definitely. Um, they balance everything out, if you will, for sure. So definitely drums for me. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix is fantastic. It has this nice mix of like processed vocals mixed with like raw vocals for like the ad libs and things like that. Right? There was a good variety here, and I feel like that added to the element of like making this sound super fucking unique and really gritty and very emotional. Right? Like even though the track itself lyrically might have not have been emotional, I still feel like this is like a passionate, honest track just based off the ad libs alone. You know what I mean? Like the ad libs alone just add again just this element of like honesty and like uh just pureness, if you will, in the vocals, right? But I think that's something to really point out here for sure. Um So yeah, like I said, and with that said, vocal mix definitely fantastic. To be honest with you, like nothing clashing to overbearing. Everything cuts through nicely. Vocals sit nice. Nothing that really like struck me off, right? Because it has that other element of rawness, but the vocals themselves are super crisp and clean. So it's kind of like a double win for sure. Vocal shining star. Um, writing's definitely up there, but I feel like flow and cadence and delivery really gave this like a whole new field, to be honest. Like writing for sure, like there's a lot of solid punchlines and a lot of solid lyrics here, but flow and cadence and delivery really gave this song the emotion that it needed. Um or was trying to achieve, I should say, and definitely achieved. So, for me, definitely flow and cadence and delivery, 100%. So instrumental solid, definitely the drums, vocal solid, definitely the flow and cadence and delivery. Let's talk theme. Um, let's see here. So aesthetics. Such an interesting kind of theme. It's almost got this like it's like a vaporwave esque kind of style, right? I feel like it's like slightly vaporwave, slightly kind of like cloud like almost. You know what I mean? Like obviously it's cloud like, right? Because of the clouds in the fucking picture. But it has this like real life element mixed with like this magazine '90s vapor comic element. But the shrunk down version is always interesting, right? I definitely feel like that could also be a good play as well. So for a single, definitely solid, absolutely nailed it. And the color palette, brings that positive kind of energy a little bit, you know what I mean? So it's a good mix of emotions in this song, man. It's a really good mix. I I feel like you're hitting like all the spectrums here for sure. Um, but aesthetics definitely on point. Overall theme, protect. So it's kind of like a back and forth between, protecting your energy, but also how you get there, right? Like protecting your energy is very important throughout life, just just in general. And I really feel like it's really one of those things where you know, you learn as you go. It's not one of those things where um you just wake up and you're just like, "Oh, I know how to protect my energy." Right? Like most of the time a lot of this kind of has to do with going through rough parts of life and learning how to protect your energy, right? The trials and tribulations and just, emotional relationships with people and a lot of stuff can be very rough in getting there. But I feel like Drama Eyes definitely has like a good balance on describing it, right? Because obviously it's like a positive to be able to protect your energy, right? But getting there isn't exactly always easy. So, well done. Well done, my friend. With that said, a huge shout out to Dry My Eyes. Make sure you go follow them on SoundCloud. They are 7 followers away from 60. And of course, make sure you follow them on Twitter. They are 6 followers away from 30. So make sure you go show them some love over there on the Bird app. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 260 Subbaroonies. We upload 2 times a week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a whole lot of good stuff available on the channel. So go show these artists in the channel some motherfucking love, my friends. And of course, if you already have, thank you, my friends. We appreciate you. Fucking get it. All right, what's good? I hope you're well. Welcome on in. Happy motherfucking Monday, my friend. Get it? So, last submission of the night, the homie, Ghost Candy. Now, Ghost Candy, it's been a couple weeks. I think it's been like 1 or 2 weeks since we've heard from Ghost Candy. And Ghost Candy, being a very talented producer and vocalist, submitted a track titled Reason. Let's see what we got here. Pop this open a new tab, and let's go see what Ghost Candy has been up to. So, 100% done by Ghost Candy. We love that. Vocals, lyrics, production, mixing, and got some lyrics and description. Let's fucking get into it. All right, Ghost Candy, Reason. Let's go. Let's get it. Holy shit. This is very poetic. Damn. Well, another futuristic track from Ghost Candy, man. State of Coda, welcome on in. Happy Monday, my friend. I hope you're well. Welcome on in. Shit. All right. Let's break this down, my friends. Let's talk about it because this is a special kind of track. Definitely a special kind of track. So, we're gonna talk about three things here. Talk about the instrumental, we're talking about vocals, and we're talking about the overall theme of Reason. So, let's talk instrumental. Mix. Mix is fantastic. Ghost Candy is an artist. Again, much like a few others here on the show, that we have the pleasure of reacting to. Ghost Candy has a very solid mix, especially when it comes to both their vocals and instrumental. But specifically for their instrumentals, very solid. Nothing clashing to overbearing. The vocals always work well. Everything always knocks properly. Vocals sit nice. Nothing that ever throws me off, especially as of recently, like over the course of the last like 3 months or so. Not one track has really thrown me off, as far as the instrumental mix goes. So, not really a shocker, but something you always want to point out, right? So instrumental mix fantastic for sure. Instrumental shining star. Melody is definitely up there. Structure's definitely up there. Drums are definitely up there. There's a couple. I like everything about this as a whole. But if I really, really had to pick, it's got to be the drums. The drums keep up the energy, the rhythm, the everything, right? I feel like the track would still work as just like a bare bones kind of track, but the drums are really making this track as far as like bringing high energy and also kind of keeping it fast paced. So for me, definitely the drums for sure. So instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals. So a little bit of like a interesting track we have here when it comes to writing and things like that, but we'll talk about that in a second. When we want to talk about vocals, the vocal mix in specific, I think Ghost Candy definitely has a lock on this kind of like futuristic, robotic kind of sound here. You know what I mean? Like at this point, I think we've reacted to like 3 or 4, maybe like 5 at the most tracks of this style, and I think Ghost really is starting to like really get comfortable with it and really kind of push the boundaries of what they can and can't do, right? And the mix just kind of supports that. It's super crisp, super clean. Again, nothing clashing, too overbearing. Vocals sit nice in the instrumental. Drums cut through nicely. Nothing that throws me off, especially for such like a heavy, futuristic, almost like robotic like style. I think it fits well, to be honest with you. So, vocal mix on point. Vocal shining star. It's gonna have to be the writing. It's gonna have to be the writing for me. Just because of the meaning, right? I feel like the writing is so well done and it's like slightly poetic as well. Of course, it has like the flow and cadence, right, and proper delivery. But I think the writing itself and the lyrics are super solid, super solid. So instrumental solid, definitely the drums, vocal solid, definitely the writing. Let's talk theme. The aesthetics is something I spoke a little bit about here, from Ghost Candy, and this is again kind of like a safe, piece of artwork where they just kind of pick like the chill version or just let it default to their SoundCloud profile picture, right? So definitely brings that futuristic kind of feel to it. Very minimalistic, but again, it gets the job done in my opinion. So aesthetics definitely on point. Overall theme for Reason is kind of interesting, right? And kind of why I chose writing, just because like I love the whole theme of this track, but more specifically like towards the end about buy a home, claim the throne, one day you're understanding you got to find a reason. Like I feel like things like that can really like put things in perspective no matter how you write them, right? So if it's in the POV of like somebody in the future, if it's in the POV of X, Y, or Z, like the lesson here still stands that like you have to find a reason in life. If you don't have a reason, you're going to be fucked, right? And I feel like, what song was it? Just a couple submissions ago where you know oh dry my eyes about kind of protecting your energy, right? I think finding a reason is much like that, where you kind of have to go through life to kind of find your reason and go through the life processes of good and bad to kind of like find like what you really want out of this shit. You know what I mean? Whether it be a career or family or this or that, big, small, big goals, big dreams, small goals. Like no matter what it is, man, you gotta have a reason to like keep your mental straight and something to work for. You know what I mean? And I think Ghost Candy did a really good job describing this in a very poetic way. So well done, my friend. Well done. So with that said, huge shout out to Ghost Candy. Make sure you go follow them on SoundCloud, man. They're 20 away from 100 because that's a good milestone. Of course, make sure you follow Ghost Candy on Twitter. They are 9 followers away from 70, so go show them some love on the Bird app, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 260 subscribers, man. We upload 2 times a week, every Thursday, every Saturday, full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a lot of good stuff available over there, man. So go show these artists on the channel some motherfucking love. And if you already have, thank you. We appreciate you. So with that said, my friends, that does it for Music Mondays, episode 163, and our submissions. Huge shout out to everybody that came through in the chat, showed love, chatted it up. Huge shout out to everybody that's submitted, of course. So let's close it out. Let's talk about what's coming over the course of the next week or so, what you should be looking out for, and give some shout outs. So with that said, huge shout out to everybody that submitted. Huge shout out to Ozzy, Braden, Loudest, Offspring, Smoking Cola, Rival and Negativity, Conscious of Kings, Jordan, A Groovy Mind, Bloodcat, I Say, Laveries, Lil Wet Wet, Dry My Eyes, Ghost Candy, Thomas Marcus, D So Nice, Toby, Painbox, and Light. Thank you so much for your submissions, my friends. Thank you. We appreciate you here at Music Monday. And of course, submissions open tomorrow. So if you're interested in submitting for the next episode of the Music Mondays podcast, if you're watching this live, submissions are quite literally open on Tuesday the 5th. If you're watching this on YouTube, submissions are already open. So go drop your tracks, my friends. Go drop your tracks. And of course, huge shout out to everybody that came through and showed love in the chat tonight. Huge shout out to literally everybody. Tarek, Loudest, Stay Dakota, Ara, anybody else that lurked and chilled, man. Thank you. I appreciate you for coming through and hanging out at Music Mondays podcast, man. You guys are fucking amazing. So what's coming up over the course of the next week? We're handling Curing Cases of the Mondays artwork in our second album on Music Mondays, so stay tuned for some details about that. Merch is still available in small, medium, and large, so definitely hit us for some orders. You'll see some more updates about that. Expect a brand new Music Mondays article and SoundCloud Sunday and podcast submissions to go up this week, and of course a couple other surprise drops along the way. Let's fucking get it. So with that said, make sure you follow Music Mondays at All Music Mondays on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Tumblr, Threads, YouTube, all that good stuff. We're 4 subs away from 260, so make sure you go show the channel some motherfucking love. And of course, make sure you stream us at anchor.fm/allmusicmondays. We're available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all that good stuff. So go show the show some love over there. And like I said, make sure you go show some love to the YouTube side of things as well, my friends. So, of course, make sure you follow the channel if you have not already. And again, submissions open tomorrow for episode 164. So make sure you go follow us on socials. And of course, follow me at ZomSlays. All the socials are linked down below. All the good stuff's linked down below. We're 2 subs away from our 10 sub goal. So make sure you go show us some love over on the channel, man. And of course, we're live like 6 days a week, man. So come through, come say hi, come kick it with your boy. And we'll be live for episode 164 of the Music Mondays podcast next week. So stay tuned, be safe. I love you guys. Take care, and we'll see you tomorrow.